Shalom Akyam. Before I begin this lesson, I'd like to turn to the east and give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakodash. I'd like to proceed this lesson with giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do well and teach well, man. I want to go into, this topic is going to be about spiritual powers, man. And if you believe that the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, is gonna bless his elect men with this, hey, I don't know if that's how we be of those men, man, to get that reward, man. I'm gonna just read this real quick. John chapter 14 verse 12 in the KJV, and it reads, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also." And going into the account of so-called Jesus Christ, as this world ignorantly calls, his name is Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai in the Paleo Hebrew. He had power to cast out demons from a man, man, and he casted them into the swine, man. If you know that story, the swine ran off the cliff and killed themselves, man. That's a form of spiritual powers, man. And when he Salakia, when he Shaitan's tongue-tied me, man, but when he healed, there we go, call out Yabashim Yashai, when he healed the dumb man, the dumb man, which means, he was a retard, man, he healed that man, he healed the blind, he healed the sick, he ultimately, the greatest, thing he's done, of course, he rose from the dead, man. Immortality, man. John 14 and 12. "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father." And he who have the, let me get this real quick. If you have the faith of a mustard seed, man. Matthew chapter 17 verse 20, and it reads, "And Yahweh Shai said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you," man. I'm gonna just get the mustard seed real quick. A picture of him, man. Hey, that's a spirit, man. Going into it, look. Faith, man. Look at how small it is. In this little jar right here. A faith of a mustard seed, man. If you have faith, and you believe that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to bless his elect men in these latter days, to come, when Esau Edom shall come down, with great wrath, because we're going to need spiritual powers to be saved from these things, man. Esau Edom is going to come out with his weapons that nobody has ever seen before, man. He got plasma cannon weapons. He got the DEW weapons, direct energy weapons, that emit lasers from, satellites he has in the orbit of space, so-called. We know he wants to leave space, but he can't, man. But ultimately, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to bless his men to be able to go to other planets, man. I'm going to get this real quick. Just going through the spirit, just edifying. John chapter 14, verse 2. "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you." Hey, man. And this is going to mean, then this means that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, ultimately Yahweh, has other planets for the elect to dwell on as well, man. And it's in the red letter, man. Yahweh Shai saying this. Man, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 110, verse 3. "Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast to do of thy youth." Let me see, Psalms 110. Let me see if I can get in the GNT. Or let's see. Psalms chapter. Nah, let's see. Get it in a better breakdown real quick. Let's see. The NLT. Just so it can be better understood. In the NLT, Psalms 110, a Psalm of David, man. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 110, verse 3. When you go to war, your people will serve you willingly. You are arrayed in holy garments, and your strength will be renewed each day like the morning dew. Our strength is going to be renewed, man. We're going to have, spiritual powers, man. Just as in the account of, I'll go back to that. In the account of Samson, man. This is the book of Judges, chapter 15. And I'll go to... I'll go to verse 14. Or you know what? Verse 13. And they spake unto him, saying, No, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand, for surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. And when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. It's like the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire. Man, he was tied up, man, and they burnt with fire, man. And his bands loosed from off his hands. The Lord came through for Samson, man. This is verse 15. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. Man, with the jawbone, with just the bone of a donkey, man, he killed 1,000 men. Verse 16. And Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. Man, that's a form of spiritual power, man. To be able to kill 1,000 men with the, with the jawbone of a donkey, man. Hey, you gotta believe that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is gonna bless his men with this. Because if you don't believe when that time comes, man, then you're not gonna be able to do it, man. Just like in that movie, The Matrix, man. Neo said, there was a scene in the movie where, Trinity and Morpheus were telling him, how do you know that you're not gonna, that you'll make it? And he says, because I believe, man. And that movie has a lot of spiritual gems in it, man. Ultimately it's about the Lord, and this wicked system, man. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31 in the KJV. And it reads, but they that wait upon the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Man. They that wait upon the Lord, man. Let's see if I can get it. I'm going to get it in the AMP right here. Isaiah 40 and 31. But those who wait for the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, who expect and look for and hope in him. And that's the elect, man. They're in that spirit of expecting for these things to come and looking for these things to come and hoping in them, man. Because we are prisoners of hope, man. And it says, will gain new strength and renew their power, man. Man, their power, meaning, just like Superman, man. We're gonna have power beyond Superman, beyond Thanos, beyond, Darkseid, beyond all these comic book characters, man. They're all inspired by, this book, man, by the Bible, man. And it reads, they will lift up their wings and rise up close to Yahweh like eagles rising towards the sun. Hey, we're gonna be able to take lift, man, to fly from the floor, man, and fly up like Superman, like Hancock. Man, that's a beautiful thing, man. And Aaron Artaxerxes, you know, and we get to see those things, man. I get to see that, man. You know, Adon Atazah, man. And it reads, they will run and not become weary. They will walk and not grow tired. You know, the Lord's going to bless his men with these types of powers, man. You know, to fly, you know, to emit laser beams out their eyes. You know, to jump as high as a skyscraper, man. You know, it's a never ending, you know, man. You can't put the Lord's power in a box, man. Especially when he gives his men the power, man. Let's see right here. Let me go back to this one. Let's see. You know, and if we, this is John chapter 14, verse 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go into my Father, man. You know, all these things, man, we're gonna, you know, the Lord's gonna give us the power to surpass any comic book, you know, superhero, man. You know, the Hulk's strength ain't got nothing on the Lord's strength, man. You know, man, Mr. Dr. Doom, man, has nothing to what we're about to see, man. Like I was going into, you know, being able to emit lasers from your eyes, man. You know, blowing fire out your mouth, man. The list is never ending, man. If you believe that Yahweh Shem Yahshai is going to bless his men with these types of powers, man. You know, with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I like to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash, Shalom, Kwam Yasha'al.